On paper, this is exactly what I wanted the X2 to be after using it for the first time. But did we get that with Pulsar's brand new X2H? A mouse that I've honestly been fiending for ever since they first revealed it. Now fortunately enough, I've been using the mouse for roughly the last 3-ish weeks, and it's definitely been an experience. Now coming from the first initial X2, there is quite a bit of difference to unpack. See, there's not enough difference so that you can't see it is not a Pulsar mouse. So today I have the black and the white X2H, as well as a very special Discord exclusive edition X2, which was also the first batch of X2s, with all the original coatings and all that. So just also a little heads up for those who want something of the special edition variety, definitely check out the Pulsar Discord on my link below, just for all the future updates on maybe exclusive drops or anything like that. Now, as always, an unboxing is in order. We have the nice Pulsar packaging with the specs listed and all that jazz. Opening it up, we are welcomed by the mouse. Underneath the base is going to be all our usual accessories. So it's the box with our cable and this little sleeve containing a user's guide, a sticker, and a collector's card. Lastly in the box is our labeled dongle and adapter to easily distinguish it from all the other Pulsar ones. But now I want to get into the quality of this beast. Comparing it to the OG X2, you can see that the click wobble has been greatly improved, as well as the coating being switched to their newest version, which is fantastic coming from the OG. Now, the side buttons are a bit wider and flatter just to kind of comfortably roll your finger onto them while in use. Lastly is going to be a big change of internals. So that's coming from their original MCU, which was only up to 1K Hz compatible. We do have the new Nordic MCU, which can go up to 4K Hz. Second is going to be Pulsar's own version of the TTC Gold encoder, which they've named the Pulsar Blue encoder. It is super smooth, tactile, and very light. Now third is going to be Pulsar's own version of optical switches. They initially went for the KL 8.0s on the first few batches, and then initially swapped over on the Bruce Lee edition to the opticals, which they've obviously brought back into the X2H. Now all these changes are so awesome, because it prevents everything like slam clicks, double clicks, ghost scrolling, all of that. Obviously we have to get into the shape itself. So they did initially keep a couple things coming from the first batch of X2. So we still have the same exact low profile clicks with the slight finger grooves, the same relative shape of side buttons and their position, the LED indicator for either battery life, DPI or just power indicator, the scroll wheel shape and material plus design. Then of course on the bottom is the same design skates, base and choice of buttons, but just swapped for some reason. Heading into the shape itself, we can see there's quite a bit of visual difference to unpack. With only rough measurements, the original Pulsar X2 has a way lower and centered hump, peaking at 3.7 centimeters in height and 4.3 centimeters from the back of the mouse, whereas the new X2H has a way higher and more backwards shifted hump, peaking in at 3.8 centimeters in height and 3.8 centimeters from the backside. Flipping these bad boys over, we can see one change that I was so excited for, and that's going to be the narrower waist. The X2 does have more flat sides, so this makes it more catered towards a general audience, meaning it can be used with most grip styles, if not all grip styles, but only on a well enough basis because it doesn't necessarily focus on one single style, which also makes it the exact same case for me as the G Pro X Superlight. But the X2H on the other hand has more curvature to basically just create a bow for your thumb, ring and pinky finger to grip into, or just pull the mouse backwards towards your palm. Now giving a little showcase of all the dimensions, we can see that the X2 waist starts bowing at 3.6 centimeters from the back and has a diameter of 5.95-ish centimeters. Then very slightly curves inwards at 6.1 centimeters from the back, having a diameter of 5.9 centimeters. Eventually peeking out towards the front flare, which is around 9.8 centimeters from the back, with a diameter of 5.9 centimeters. Coming to the X2H though, the waist bows in at 3 centimeters from the back, and the diameter will be roughly 6 centimeters, slightly curving down into the waist at around 5.8 centimeters from the back, having a diameter of 5.2 centimeters, eventually just finishing it off with a very slight outwards curve to the front peak at 9.5 centimeters from the back with a 5.4 centimeter diameter. So it does give you a rough 4.5 centimeters of bowed space for your thumb, and the same goes for the right side in which your pinky and ring finger rests. Now comparing the X2H with my favorite mouse right now is going to be the XM2WE. Now taking a look at the front end, we can see that the mouse shares slight similarities. The X2H hump is more like a round bubble, which rounds into the side profile with a slight curve, creating our softer thumb and ring plus pinky finger pocket. But the XM2WE has a bracket shape hump, which ends instantly where the edges start and then curves into a more aggressive pocket that nuzzles the thumb and the ring plus pinky finger. Now obviously we have to get into the performance. Pulsar is still rocking their optical switches. Now we're still at that stage where opticals do feel a tad bit mushy or a bit lifeless. These are closer to the better part of the spectrum now though. These do sound nicer and snappier than the XM2WE's Kale opticals, but are still soft and not as tactile or snappy as mechanicals. Pairing that with their new Nordic MCU and build, we have the opportunity to use a higher polling rate. So on paper, using all that combined, it does offer a very fast experience. Refreshing a click and sensor info at up to 0.125 milliseconds per swipe or click, which is bloody brilliant to see. Coming into the final conclusion though, the X2H is a fun mouse which I enjoyed and can definitely recommend it to people seeking out mice specifically for grip styles such as relaxed, knuckle, aggressive and pincer claw. So just generally anything to do with claw gripping. But for me personally, I do feel there's a little bit to nitpick on my part. The hump for me personally is a bit too aggressive, making more for a palm contact experience. It does lack a bit of side support and width, which kind of forces the base of my palm to wrap around the back instead of having it sit comfortably, causing a bit of slight tensing pressure on my thumb and pinky joints, which eventually lead into a bit of exhaustion. Next, the clicks need to be sorted out and tweaked for pre and post travel issues. Also to mention, my first copy did have a few problems with the M1 and M2 clicks. They got stuck for a bit if I didn't use the mouse for quite a bit of time. And last thing that I want to mention is, I honestly wish they had a slight bit more curvature to create a pocket for my fingers to rest into. Other than that, it's a banger. The weight is solid, the structure is grossly strong, overall it feels nice in hand and performs like an absolute beast. This is genuinely a top tier mouse for claw grip masses, and I can confidently say it's one of the best mice of 2023. Once again, Pulsar just make another awesome product. But thanks so much for watching guys, see you in the next video, take care and peace.